one. Hey guys, welcome back to the Nets, the home of unbiased views. With me today is one of the special guys that I have met on Twitter. I've been following him. We have tons and tons and tons of views which we are common with when it comes to Arsenal, and then there are those ones where we disagree. But it's still always amazing talking to him. He has had a massive, massive experience being a part of football. Played with Lyle in the past or Martial in the past as a League Two player, and he has been a admirer of French football team, been an Arsenal fan for the past 20 plus years, I think 25, 33. Correct me if I'm
33.
wrong there.
33
33
years.
years, and now runs a football academy of his own, and his son, knock on wood, will be a part of Real Madrid sometime in the future. So,
Yep.
welcome, Frank.
Thank you. Thank you
Good
for
to
having
have you
me.
here. Always pleasure. So, let's start with the things that we do not agree on. So, for instance, when Xhaka first came in, I said he was bad, and Frank was of the opinion he was terrible. So that was one of the disagreements we had. Turns out he was right. Xhaka was terrible. But let's talk about Arsenal. So, Frank, quite a few things happening in the past 2 years. Arteta being trusted, all the eggs laid in Arteta's basket. And anytime Arteta fails, we keep hearing trust the process. What's your take on this?
There's no process. That's my first thing. It's just something they try to sell to people to, to be patient and accept whatever is happening. Basically, I don't think there's any process at all. It's just try to swallow having Arteta around. That's about
So,
it.
do you think Arteta winning the FA Cup has actually come back and bit us in the hindsight?
Yeah, totally, absolutely. I don't take it away from him. It's great that we won the FA Cup, but being a cup team and being and chasing for the league is two different story. I don't want Arsenal to be a cup team. It's insane. It's not. We can survive by just winning cups. We need to go for the big stuff.
I do agree with it, but let's positives. Let's talk about positives. When Arteta came in, we were leaking goals. At the end of the season, our scores, the scoreboard may be miserable. I mean, the league position, the table with where we ended was miserable. But the fact that we had a decent defensive record, how do you see that? Do you see that as a process improvement or individual players putting their hands up?
You know what? Honestly, yeah, we the team score less goal against us, but we score way less than we used to. So at the end of the day, it's the same, or even worse. I mean, we playing defense against small teams. We park the bus basically. We play 8 defenders. Uh, you got Oba who's playing left wing back. So it's not easy to improve the defense. But when you put 10 guys in the back, it's always harder to score goals. It's harder for other teams to score goals, but it's also harder for us to actually go forward and score goals. Considering the player we have in the middle, it's almost impossible.
And so true. And I mean, considering we have always struggled to find a midfield marshal, and probably we have been spoiled by the likes of Vieira. And for me personally, and I know you are French and you probably might have a bias as well, but for me, there can never be another midfielder that can be as good as Vieira. It's
No, it's
impossible.
impossible.
I
Yeah.
was I was talking last time about how we need somebody who can take the ball up. We need somebody who can be a defensive rock. Who can act as a pivot. And when you look at all those things, Vieira was all that in one. So now
Totally.
we necessarily need two players who specialize to make that one man up. And as it stands, Partey has not really stepped up to the table as much as we wanted him to. And Xhaka was terrible.
Yeah, but when it comes to Partey, I think he will come good. It's because we are too spoiled with what Vieira was. We expect someone who's gonna come in and do the same things. I don't think it's possible, honestly. That guy was a genius, and he had like 5 legs. It's crazy. Partey needs a right midfielder next to him. Somebody he can pass the ball and trust of going forward. And that's why I love Aouar. Houssem Aouar. A lot of people are like, yeah, but he doesn't score goals. He doesn't do many assists. It's not just that. It's like Cazorla. He gets the ball and he brings it up right away. It's super quick. And this is exactly what we're missing right now. We miss. He can play. He's not going to go too low on the pitch. And with Partey on his side, it's going to be perfect, man. This is what I want to see. Somebody like that.
So with Arteta, when it comes to attack, we have always counted on our wingers and wing backs to make the runs, and somebody cuts it in, and hopefully the ball reaches to the right person. But we do not have a box-to-box midfielder who's actually making that extra body present in the opponent's half or opponent's box. Do you really see anyone who we are currently being linked with to actually fill that position?
Well, we're linked to Aouar, and I think he's perfect. Yesterday, Aouar they attacked on the wing. That's exactly what you were saying. You can see Lyon attacking on the wing and suddenly cross the ball at the limit of the box. And who's there to score a volley in the top bin? Aouar. This is somebody like this there's plenty other players like this, but I think from the people we link, Aouar would be the perfect fit.
Let's take a step back and let's talk about all the midfielders and creative midfielders or midfielders, however we want to see it, with currently Arsenal linked to. One is a lingering Locatelli rumor, which is not going to happen. Let's be honest.
No, it's
he
not
doesn't want to come here. And
No.
The choice is obvious. Allegri, Arteta. That's a no brainer.
Allegri is my all-time favorite.
Right. Okay. So that's a no-brainer. I wouldn't think twice there at all. But then there is also that possibility that we have Maddison. We have a Coutinho situation, and Coutinho, just because it could be a cheap situation in the end where Barca wants to offload him and no one comes to buy him at this time, and he may be available for cheap on the last few weeks or last week maybe. And
so Coutinho
then
apparently is very close to. They were talking with Marseille. They're trying to put a deal with Marseille. I don't think he'll come to Arsenal because of his wages. We're gonna have another Ozil situation, or Aubameyang in another way situation. He's gonna ask for $250,000 a week, and we're gonna be stuck with that because he's not gonna perform. He's gonna perform a couple of games and then he's gonna sit back and relax. You need to have hungry. I love Maddison. I absolutely love Maddison. I think as an offensive midfielder, he is more fit for Arsenal than Grealish. Grealish gonna always move toward the left, and it's gonna be a problem with Smith Rowe or Aubameyang. As for Maddison, it's always like just close around the box, like in the middle, which we lack presence.
So then why do we fail with our youngsters not being able to step up to that? When we see the likes of Joe Willock, when we see the likes of Ashley Maitland-Niles, or even Reece Nelson, who pretty much dominated in Hoffenheim when he went there. Why is it that when these players come and play for us, they cannot bring their game up to that level?
Well, for as far as Bundesliga, it's a different league, man. It's the defenses are, even in France, I think the defenses are better than in Bundesliga. So a lot of people are having a blast over there, going there and smashing goals. As far as Joe Willock, I just think he's just not the finished product. He needs to progress a couple of more years, and I think he'll be good. And Maitland-Niles, he doesn't have a position. That's the main problem with him. He just doesn't have a position. He can be a right wing. He's okay at right wing. He's okay in the middle. He's okay in different positions, but he's not really good at one position. And that's a big problem, I think, for us, which I think is going to be gone.
Don't you think that in the hindsight, the entire academy has to be blamed for this? Like, if you look at it, we buy players for extremely high prices. And when it comes to selling the same players, we get peanuts for them. It's something
terrible.
Is wrong with our management.
It's terrible. And it's been like this for years. Wenger used to do this as well. I don't know, it's like a tradition for Arsenal. It's like we buy players and we sell them for nothing. We even sell our best player for way cheaper than they are. I don't understand that at all. It's weird.
It is absolutely weird. And okay, so let's rank the players that we probably might be linked to and how we may bring them in. Ideal situation, we buy both Maddison and Aouar, but
But that's not
realistically,
gonna
if you
happen,
have to
right?
pick one, not gonna happen. I know it, you know it, but ideally, who do you think may be the best
So,
one for this situation?
so both would be the dream. That would take us to a total different level. But I think as of right now, what we really need is a player of the type of Aouar, somebody that goes next to Partey and can pass the ball back if needed or bring the ball super quick up front. And I think that's what we've been lacking since Santi Cazorla, since he left or since he was injured.
So now throw into that mix that we also have the likes of Emil Smith Rowe, who has been given a massive responsibility now. And he's proposed to be that guy who's standing right behind the forward, taking his chances of creating those tap in goals or, just nicking the ball in, one touch passes, the way we like to play it. Do you think he's up for it yet?
Yes, why not? He's been proving it. He's been good, man. I've been one of those guys screaming for him. I really, really like the guy. He's a great number 10. He might be a little young, but once the physical part's gonna come in game, he needs to be able to do quite a few games in a row without getting injured. If this happens, man, nothing's gonna stop him. He'll be a top player.
To that.
And number 10
So
or
now
not, and number 10 is just a number anyway.
it's just a number anyway. So true. So then comes the crazy position of the goalkeeper. Now,
Oh,
again, it's a thing that only Arsenal can do. We let go of one of the best goalkeepers in the league to Aston Villa, who currently at this stage are our rivals. It's a shame to say that, but currently they are our rivals because we are struggling at the 8th to 10th position. And we gave them Martinez for 20 million. Now we are talking about a goalkeeper, Ramsdale, who has relegated not one but two teams in the past 2 years. Bournemouth relegated, Sheffield relegated. He's priced at 32 million. The current goalkeeper we have was rated 17 million and we brought him in. Now we are getting Ramsdale. How do you justify that or how do you call that? If you take a step back as a neutral, how do you see this transaction?
and it's such a mess. I don't think they planned this at all. I always said we should have sold Leno, keep Martinez, and spend that money wisely on somebody. But they went the other way, and now we sold a top 5 goalkeeper in the world for 20 million. And as a goalkeeper, relegating teams, it's not necessarily the fault of the goalkeeper. If there's nobody in front of him to defend, it's not his fault. But this guy is just not good, man. He makes hand mistakes, and he's like Leno with even less capability with his feet. I don't get it, man. I go to get somebody cheap in the smaller championship and forget about Ramsdale. I don't get it.
That again, you talk about price and money, and let's 50,000 feet view of Arsenal. It's a critical year where it's the first time we are not in Europe in 22 years. And we have this young manager who everybody thinks is going to be, the next Arsene Wenger or whoever next Guardiola. Let's forget about that piece for a second. You look at what we have bought so far to get back into the league. We have bought a midfielder, a young midfielder from a Belgian league. We have got a left back from a Portuguese league. And we are linked with a couple of has-beens from teams that finished ahead of us and have not been using those players. Jordan Henderson, Tammy Abraham, and linked with a goalkeeper from a team that got relegated. Do you really think this team has shown ambition?
No. I mean, Nuno Tavares, Lokonga, we needed players like that, for squad players. but so far we have not reinforced the team. Henderson was a sub for Liverpool. It was coming lately. Was coming the last 10 minutes. Tammy Abraham, I'm getting roasted on Twitter for that, but I like the guy, man. I like his profile. I think he can do something real good, but which means we're gonna have to let Lacazette, who's apparently, I just got a text message today about him being in talk with Marseille, and Ketia. They would both have to go. But then what does that mean for Martinelli? As far as the team, I don't think we improved anything so far. We're just the same. And you know what? I'm happy you record this because you're gonna be able to put it back to me. But even with Shaka leaving, we're even a little less good. Honestly, we are kind of weak.
Let's be honest. Xhaka, as bad as he was, just because of the way he could cross the ball diagonally from the center of the field, he was one of those members who was sadly the bench was set so low that he was an automatic first team selection when we played. We cannot argue there that he was,
No,
we
totally
didn't
right.
really have anyone. He was a part of that. So we need somebody who's going to walk in from match number 1 into this team. So we probably are looking at somebody who has PL experience and who's going to just add value to this team on day 1 when he joins this. If we do not do that, we have not really upgraded our team from the last season where we left off.
It's not with Henderson that we're going to add value. Henderson in a team like Arsenal is going to be another Xhaka. We need somebody, I don't know, we need somebody quicker. We need somebody, I don't know, man. See Xhaka, everybody say, you hate Xhaka. I'm like, no, but the guy, he's not a bad player, but he's in the wrong league. He can play in a league like everybody pressing every time. He can play like that. And Anderson at Arsenal, man, he's going to be left alone and it's going to look the same. And we need a total different profile of a player, I think. Lokonga might come up really good. We don't know. But I don't believe Arteta is going to start him right away.
Agreed. Now, when we say we need a player who's fast and who is direct and things like, is our manager really setting up a game for that? Who is this team built around? Do we have an answer for that?
He's a manager, so I'm sure he is looking for somebody. Otherwise, it would be suicidal. I mean, we've been craving for this for a few years now, and I'm sure he knows it, but who's available? Who's willing to come? Does Arsenal really have the money? It's a whole thing.
Oh, okay. When we talk about money, we always the blame is directed to Kroenke and the management and never to the manager. But if you recollect, when Usmanov gave this club away, he sold his shares. Kroenke was the sole owner. That year, he invested 72 million in Pepe. He has consistently invested 50 mil last time for Partey. Even before that, we have consistently spent money. He's injecting money. So the whole notion that Kroenke is to be blamed, I feel is incorrect. I mean, I'm not defending Kroenke by any means because, firstly, he calls football soccer. So that itself is insane for me. But the fact that people blame everything on Kroenke without giving Arteta any responsibility as to, hey, what's the roadmap here? What do you see going from here to the next 6 months? How many points have you made? I don't think we have any such discussions, or at least they're not public for us to be convinced.
Yeah, I think like you, he's been spending some money. People are just, I don't know, they just try to. I don't understand why Arteta is suddenly the second coming to Jesus. Like, honestly, I mean, the guy was not a great player for us. He was like a panic buy by Wenger. He really was. And after that spank that we got 8-2 against Manchester United, that's why they brought him in. But he's never been a great player for us. He finished his career with us. Yeah, he cried. So that's why people think they're too sentimental when it comes to him. But as a manager, I mean, they brought in somebody who has zero experience, not even with youth team, man. Zero experience. And it's too easy to defend him and give everything to Kroenke. Yeah, Kroenke spent some money. But there's also the fact that people forget that football is a business. it is a business. A club is an enterprise. Club, I mean, they want some return. People yes, they're rich people, but rich people want to be richer and they want to get some money back. And Abramovich spent money like crazy, but a lot of people are saying it's shady money that he gets his money from. So maybe it's a way to clean it. We don't know. Manchester City is backed up by a whole country, just like PSG. But those people make money. They make money in marketing and all that way more than Arsenal does. And maybe Kroenke is a little tired as well right now. I'm sure they started questioning Arteta at the end of last season, so they're gonna spend a little more maybe this time and see how it goes. But to me, if he goes the way he was going, November is gone.
I think you're being generous by saying November. And the reason I say that is if you look at the first 6 games, and remember this time, the last season, he had no crowd in the stadium, so no one was booing him in the stadium. This year,
it's gonna be
there
hell.
will be people in the stadium with already this pent-up frustration as to we are not playing midweek.
So hey, just for people to understand, I don't judge Arteta as a man. I judge him as a manager or as a footballer at the time. I mean, the guy, I have nothing against him. It's just, how can I say that? I didn't want him to be the manager because of his. I don't care what people say. Oh, he's gonna be the next something, whatever. They don't know. The managers are not gonna talk bad about another manager. They will talk well. The players want to play, so they're not gonna say bad thing about their own manager. But we didn't have a choice, so I didn't want him. He was appointed, and for me, it was like, you know what? Okay, he's there. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm just gonna give it a shot and see how it goes. I'll judge him. I said I'll judge him by Christmas. By October, I know he wasn't the right one. And since October last year, I was like, nah, it needs to go. It's not the right man. Nothing has changed.
I agree. And I feel that it's not that we didn't have choices. We had Allegri who was sitting out. And Bayern just pulled a rabbit out of the hat. Yeah, Bayern pulled a rabbit out of the hat by picking up Hansi Flick. Now, why can't we find somebody like Hansi Flick who can just come in and be an instant impact and change the team, the fortunes of the team right there and then? And, for us, for some reason, we haven't. I mean, I would like to find that one player who is willing to hold the other player's neck in the tunnel and say, you know what, you cannot screw up this game. And I don't think we have had anybody who inspires in that field. I mean, Oba, as good a player he is, he's not an inspiration on the field. You can see just by his body language, his shoulders dropping. You don't want a captain like that. And
he's
again, I always compare them.
He's never been a leader. The people have that false impression because he was the captain. He was the captain of Arsenal because he was understanding tactics properly. That's why he was the captain, not because he was a leader. And I don't think he has a great voice. And I think that's why Guendouzi left and Saliba left, because they challenged him. They don't follow his direction. I don't think he's a great leader, and we need a leader as a manager. We need somebody like Marseille, Sampaoli, man. Sampaoli came. He has players that he wants. He's getting them. What are we waiting for, man? What is Arteta waiting for? We need players. The Premier League's in 3 weeks. I'm starting panicking, man.
I started panicking as well. Trust me. It's by the, it will be gone in the blink of an eye. And we keep saying that we are in talks. We are in close talks. We are in extreme close talks, and it's about to happen. And then boom, it was never meant to be. And we have had that with the Suarez situation.
We are thinking of possibly having a thought to be interested in a player every day.
Absolutely. And look at the Buendia situation. I mean, if you wanted a player from a team, just go and get him. Aston Villa did it. Why couldn't we?
Yeah, it's crazy.
What are we waiting for? If he was going to add value.
We can do it with squad players, not pure starters. Buendia is gonna be a starter right away for Villa. We got Lokonga and Tavares. I mean, Ben White's gonna come. That's cool. I like the player. He's a good player. But I think we have if we already got better defensively, then maybe we should be focusing on other part of the field first.
Absolutely agree. And considering the right back situation where we have Cedric, we still have Ashley Maitland-Niles, who's not gone yet. We have
Bellerin,
Bellerin and we have Chambers. So
and
that
none of
right
them are.
situation,
I mean, I really like Cedric. I think he's a great squad player, but who are we going to start? Maitland-Niles is going to be gone. That's almost sure. Bellerin, apparently, it's happening finally, and Maitland-Niles, Bellerin. Who else?
Chambers and
Chambers.
Cedric.
Is Chambers really that good? I don't think he's another squad player. We need somebody to start, somebody who can be a beast as a right back.
We say that, but I am pretty positive if Chambers goes to a different club, he will actually be a lot more value to that club than he has ever been to Arsenal. Because in
But
Arsenal, either
I don't think he will be a right back though.
no, he
He
won't.
like he can play in the middle, he can play in the back, but not as right back.
And with Chambers, I have a soft corner for Chambers just because of the fact that he tried his best and he continues trying and he does not stop.
That's true.
And I like that attitude in a player where there was the Ozil situation where you could see that, okay, he has just given up. After 70 minutes, if we are 2 goals down, he has given up. He doesn't want to try anymore. And with Chambers and with Guendouzi as well. I love Guendouzi. I don't know what was wrong with him, but I could have seen him as one of those guys who could have fought for the team. He would fight for the team. He would grab you by the neck and say, no, you cannot screw up here. That midfield marshal that we needed. And I know he had a temper,
But
but sometimes you
he
need
has too
a
much.
crazy player.
He suddenly has too much temper for all those Arsenal lovers of Arteta fans because they want to protect again. They want to protect Arteta before anything. That kid is awesome, man. He just pushed another player with Marseille to defend one of his players, and in Marseille, people love this. It's football, man. It's not dance. I mean, you got to go to war, man. It's a player like this. We need these kind of players. Vieira and Keane. What would they say today? Like these guys were going for it every game. I love this, and I love that. I love Guendouzi, man. He's a great player.
I do too, and I really felt that had he been a part of the squad this year, he would have been a great partner for Partey. I don't know. He would have been a great partner for Partey just for the fact
I
that he
agree.
tracks back, he gives it his all every single time. Same, I feel for some reason that even Torreira, and I know he's on his way out as well. No one has come in for him yet, but I think he's one of those guys that somebody will come in on the last day for and try to buy him for cheap. But I feel that he will be a good player. He is a lot more athletic than Arteta. He has legs to come back and just quick with his feet.
Man, I like Torreira. I think he's a good player, man, and I think him with Partey might do something. We're not gonna see him, I bet you, because Arteta doesn't want him. But he would have done something with Partey. Torreira always had Xhaka next to him, so he had to work twice as much every single time. So sometimes he was like lost on the field because he had to do some other job to help Xhaka. I think with Partey it would have been a different story. Love that kid.
So, and again, I know we're pretty much running out of time, but I know one of the things that Arsenal is historically known for is hoping that if we buy somebody in the last week or the last 2 days, the prices will go down. And considering the British market, that has never happened. So why not just suck it up and just get it done?
Spend the money.
If you need Maddison, go for it.
Yeah, I agree. But I think people are too quick to think, oh, we're getting 250 million, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's true. And we have to sell some players too. And we can sell players. Apparently we have a problem with selling players. So I don't think we'll until we make some money.
I don't know if you have heard about the latest rumor that uh, Arteta had somewhere apparently said that we are going to buy 4 more players, and Twitter was all ballistic about it, and I was like, yeah, in your dreams, it's not going to happen. 4 players more in this season, not going to happen.
Maybe 2.
2 at the max.
Yeah. maybe
And
two.
I think one of them will be a goalkeeper, sadly.
Unfortunately, so that means Ben White and a goalkeeper and nothing in the middle.
Nothing in middle. And the scary situation for me is if we are buying Ramsdale, it means Leno is on his way out.
Yeah, but
And
then who do we put as a second?
we do not. And we will have to panic buy another.
Okonkwo is far to be ready, man. I mean, he's raw, a little too raw right now.
Yes. And again, Okonkwa, I don't think he has the abilities to play from the back. Neither does
Mm-mm.
Ramsdale, which means we are changing the entire scene in the middle of the season to
That's why
accommodate a new goalkeeper.
that's why he's buying a good defender to protect the goalkeeper.
I hope Onana deal falls through. I hope we get
I don't want
that.
Ramsdale, man. That Ramsdale deal is scaring me. I'm telling you right now, it is scaring me.
I do agree with you. I do, and I am skeptical about that. But before we wrap up, what position do you see us finishing with this squad? And if at this moment saying Arteta is going to last the whole season?
The squad as of today, I don't see us doing better than 10. And Pepe having a great season for sure. And Arteta gone between October and November.
October and November.
I mean,
I feel
if we lose the four first game, which actually kind of scare me, that's a big possibility. If we lose the first four, he's done.
For me, I feel that by the sixth or seventh game, we could be 9 to 10 points behind the leaders. And that for me is scary. That for me is, we are exactly at the same position, and this can only get worse as the season proceeds. So we may very well end up being 20 to 30 points behind the leaders. And that's a horrible situation to be in if you're an Arsenal fan.
And we are playing all the big boys right away. I think
We are playing the
Man
big boys
City,
on
we're playing Tottenham, I mean, he's gonna have to
Chelsea. I
hit
think Chelsea away.
he's gonna have to hit the ground running. Otherwise, it's quickly done. And now, on Twitter, I've been reading already that this season is off already. We're writing the season off to get ready for next season. That's why I'm starting reading. So I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, I can just keep my fingers crossed and hope for the best in this season. But on the other hand, if you look at some of the other teams around us, and by around us, I mean the teams that we can anticipate finishing 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. One of them would be Aston Villa, there would be West Ham, and I like David Moyes, but there is West Ham, there is Aston Villa, there is Everton. So
Leicester.
far, they have made smart buys.
Yeah. But they're fixing what they have to fix, basically, and we don't.
True. And it's like we are so blind that fans do.
I believe Wolves are going to do something good this season.
You think so?
Yeah, they're buying some real good player.
And what do you see with the Neves situation? Neves, do you think it's a smart buy if we do buy him? Clearly, United are ahead of us now.
He's a very good player. I mean, I don't know if he's what we need, but he's better than Xhaka. That's what I think. But I don't know if he's what we need. I think, again, we need somebody a little faster, somebody who can bring the ball quicker up front. And I don't know if he can do that.
So, the more we talk about that situation, the more we realize what has Joe Willock done wrong to not be starting at the Arsenal scene every single match, every single weekend.
Yep.
He has proven himself. He has done it for teams which actually believe in him, teams that have given him power. And for some reason, we just refuse to do that.
Yeah, these are the things that everybody is looking with eyes like this, and what's going on? Not sure. It's the weird arrogance. Wants to be right, and it still doesn't start. A few players. Why did Pepe play half the games last season? Why did Willian start over Pepe?
Oh God, 705 days to go for him. Trust me, I count every single day. 705 more days of Willian at Arsenal. But who in the right world is going to even come for him? Why would anybody want to burn money and say, okay, we want Willian?
So apparently, I just read right now, like just before we start this video, I just read that I'm not sure if it was in Qatar or Saudi Arabia that was actually in talk with them, but he's going to have to make effort on his salary because they're not going to take him at that price.
I do not know what to make of that deal because it's been this case for us. No one has come in for Bellerin. No one has come in for Torreira. No one has come in for
So
any of our
Bellerin,
other players.
for Bellerin, apparently we are now open to a expensive loan with an obligation to buy. Apparently we're just too tired of having him. He needs to go. So apparently they're open to do that. But yeah, Willian, I think it's one of the worst buy in history, man. It's terrible. Guy can put a foot in front of the other one. He's just bad.
And I know you've never been a fan of Ozil in the last 2 years at least, but I would have rather persisted with him. He added at least some value. Willian does nothing for us. Nothing.
So yeah, Ozil, I was totally done. Like I couldn't anymore, man. But yeah, no, and I agree. I think Ozil was bringing more on the field at the end than Willian. Yes, Willian had 2 assists in the first game and 1 assist or a goal at the last game. But beside that, in between, absolutely nothing. And what's the worst part is he was proving every game that he shouldn't be playing, but he was playing every game. It was insane. It's like Arteta was trying to convince himself he did something good and convince people, and he tried to put it in people's throat. It's good, but it really was not helping the team, man. It was making us play even worse.
Cannot agree with you there anymore. All right, so it's again going to be one of those painful seasons, I'm guessing. But let's keep our
I don't have
fingers
tears
crossed.
anymore, man. I don't have tears anymore. I'm cool.
Cried out. All right. Well, thank you, Frank, for joining us. And everybody who has seen us, I would like to have him again and again and again. But he's a busy man. He manages his own football academy. He has a son, like I said, who's just got selected for Real Madrid. Kudos to you. Congratulations to your kid.
Thank you,
And
man. Thank you for him.
if you have come this far, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Do let us know what we are doing good. Do let us know what we are not doing good. We will be glad to work on that. Take your feedback. And thank you, Frank, once again for coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so for having me, Kayo.
Thank you, brother.